Welcome back to Opus Magnum. We're here in House Van Tassen, Chapter 1, and the next product is the Hangover Cure. If I'd known I was to be tasked with curing a hangover... Oh, I better know who asked you for that. It was Captain Gelt, wasn't it? How'd you guess? It would be good for him to be at least somewhat functional in the mornings. Yes, it seems prudent for the head of security for the entire house to not be totally incapacitated on a regular basis. Let's not go too far. Okay, so we need to make this product, which is actually distilled water. So that's water, 2 salt, and we've only been given 1 reagent. So you'd think we would just use 1 arm, although it will be a little bit slower just using 1 arm. This is in no way going to be an optimal build, but hopefully I'll be able to get through it. Let's go with pickup. Head to the right twice, drop it down. I'm just thinking if I make this a piston, I will need to connect it all together. Then potentially I could push it out if I can make that shape. So let's grab clockwise twice, drop down. Back anti-clockwise, pick up. This is, I'm just wondering whether I should actually use a couple of different arms here. Just to make this go a little bit quicker. I could push this one in. Which means number 1 is just going to be... Let's use 2 first. It's going to take a couple of cycles to get the salt in there. So 2 is going to pick up, head around anti-clockwise twice, clockwise, drop down. Okay, so that should be the salt and the water. Now I do need another salt here. As well. And we're just making this kind of a strange shape here. So if I spun it around that way, it might work. Yeah, there's so many different ways to do this. The other option is to use one of these, which does have the same shape. It might be worthwhile just starting with that, perhaps, if I did that. This might be a little bit more compact, but it's got this, this one here, so I can't just push it out into the little product area there. Anyway, I'll try this first. So 1, 2. Three will have to be here, right, twice, left, drop down, and then. Oops, that connects. Okay, we are going to have to go the other way. Let me... let's not do that. Then. We could even just add the water... here first of all. Push it up. Let's see if this works. Then we can push it through. Then it's going to turn those 2 to salt. You can do it that way as well. Let's have a look at this. So, number 1 is pushing up. Number 2 is picking up, going to the right. Number 3. It's picking up, going clockwise. That should place. Oops. Do actually need to drop it down here as well, don't I? Let's do that. Why? Pick up, go to the left once, drop down. Number 2. Okay, it does. Okay, then it spins back around because the cycle is starts back around at the beginning again. So I will need to look at that, but that's fine for now. Then number 3 is going to be pushing that out. I don't want this to drop down. I'm going to push it out once more. Let's just do this so the cycles are the same. Push that out once more. And then I guess I can spin it around to drop into this chute here. So it's like that. It's going to spin around once. To there, I think. Let's just see how this... There we go. Drop that down. And we should be good to go. I can drop that down and restart the cycle, but I could also have these continuing to work as well, just to be a little bit more efficient. Let's just see how this goes. Seems to be working okay. And that's worked in only 48 cycles, so it's not too bad. Okay, no, that seems fine. Right, I'm going to leave that. So that is the Hangover Cure. That will do. There are days when I could use such a cure myself. Here, have some. What? This isn't for me, Anataeus. If you get caught, it's fine, there's a secret. My amazing hangover cure is water. Just plain water. Captain Gelt has no idea, but apparently he loves it. Works wonders, he says. That's rather funny. Also, I'll never trust an alchemist again. You shouldn't. Okay, let's head back to the menu. So there's another couple of options here. Airship Fuel. Precision machine oil. Let's try the airship fuel first. Captain Gelt asked for something to put in the Van Tassen airship. Apparently it's out of fuel. Oh, that old thing. First time I've ever heard someone say that old thing in reference to an airship. The last time I remember the airship actually in the air was the celebration for Frederick's birth. Clearly Frederick disappointed his grandfather so much they never took it out again. More likely it's simply been out of fuel this whole time. The whole time? Are you serious? After the old head alchemist died, we had an interim one for a while who was not great. Okay, so we need some airship fuel. We're starting to get a little bit more complicated now, as you can see, but we do have 3 reagents to use. We need to turn 2 of them into salt. 2 go into there. I'm just wondering how to do this. We will need to spin this around somehow. I could use 2 arms. To get this working, or use an arm on a track. The thing is, I don't want too many arms in the way because I need to push the salt here as well. So maybe I am better off using a track here. Then the question is, how do I get the salt? So I can place the two regions down there. I could either bring the salt, I could spin it around, bring the salt here. And I need to spin it around, bring the salt on the other side. Otherwise I could rotate, have another glyph of bonding down here. It's going to use a fair bit of space if I do it this way. It would probably use less space if I just rotated the product around here while I was working with it and then pushed it out here. That might work pretty well, but just for keeping things a little less complicated. I could do it like that. Now there's going to be some empty space here which is going to increase the area. I mean, I'm not too worried about all of that stuff right now, but let's go arm number 2 is going to pick up, move around twice and drop, move back twice. Arm number 1 is the main one here. I could do the same thing on the other side, and then I could maybe, yeah, the thing is getting things stuck, because if they bang into the regents or the arm mechanism here, then it doesn't work. So if I went this side, first of all, I'd need to be grabbing that. I would also need to rotate it out. So I would start here with pick up, rotate, drop, move down to the positive side, turn around, pick up, push out, hang on to that, then spin it around there. Let's just see how this... Oops, what are you doing? Drop 1, drop 2, that bonds. It's going to have to spin first. Let me have a look at how that should look. If I do it that way, it's going to get stuck on this one here. I don't think there's space. To spin that around at the moment. I may need to get rid of this region here. Unless I went out one more, which is possible. I think I need to spin around that way. Which means this needs to move along a little bit as well. So So let's just see how this goes. Oops, going the wrong way. Okay, let's just... there we go. Okay, so that kind of works there. I could actually bring it back this way. Place the salt here and do the final. So if I spin that around again... that way. Oops, what have I done here? Spin it around that way, then head back up. Now place another salt in here. Let's just go pick up, push that forwards twice, drop it down. So that's the other salt. Oops, where'd that go? Okay, so that is the other salt that I need to finish off this mechanism. Let's see how we go at the moment. Spinning around the wrong way there. Got the salt in. Got the salt in there. I do want to spin around that way, I think. No, I don't think I want to spin it around at all. I think we're good. Let's just do this. Yeah, that's good. Okay. It's at maximum length there, but if I spun that around clockwise, I may be able to fit it in there. Let's just bring that back to its starting position. Oops. Oh no, that worked. That actually works. Good. And drop it down there. Okay, let's see if this works. Oops, I haven't brought the middle arm back to its original position. So let's go and do that with number 1. I guess I can get rid of that drop. Do a reset there. Let's just see what happens. Okay, seems to be working fine. There is a little bit of waiting, so I've wasted a few cycles there for sure, but it's not too bad, and we have the Airship Fuel. Simple enough. Now the Van Tassen airship can take to the skies again. Sure, as long as we can find someone to pilot it. Doesn't seem too complicated. How about me? How about Captain Gelt or Frederick? That's a disturbing thought. Maybe we should pretend the airship is still out of fuel. Okay, so last one here. That's available anyway is the precision machine oil. Oh dear, oh dear. What is it now? Apparently Armand arranged for Frederick to go on a date with a young lady from another house. Oh dear. And now I have to make some machine oil. You what? For the observatory. Frederick tried to take her there, but everything was rusted solid. Of course. Even better, Clara, the young lady, is from House Soria. He was probably hoping to prove our observatory is just as good as theirs. Oh, she must have been tremendously impressed all around. Okay, so this is what we need to make. Doesn't look too difficult, but we do need to transform the lead into tin. Then there's the water in the center. Yeah, maybe not that. Could just have a mechanism here to turn that First of all, use a piston to grab it, push it. Okay, so it's going to be water is here. I could push these two onto the glyph of bonding, grab it, pull it back, push the water. Then I'd need to spin it around, unless I just had like a pushing machine and just pushed it all through and just pulled out the pieces that I needed. That could work as well. We'll take a few. We'll take a few pistons though, so it could be quite expensive to do it that way. I guess I could just spin this across here. So arm number 3 would be picking up, turning to the right, dropping down, back to the left. Number 2 is pick up, push, drop, turn. Number 1 is pick up at this point here, draw back in, number 4 is that needs to drop, pick up there. When that drops, 4 picks up, pushes along, 1. I could also have this spinning around, so as that's pushing, number 1 could turn that way, pick up, turn back and drop. Let's just see where we are at the moment. So we've got the tin. That pushes. Okay, it's kind of getting close. We've got the tin on one side. Yeah, it's going to be hard to spin that around there. Actually, I don't need to spin around at this point in time. But if I went with the water first, I guess this one could spin around. If I did have that the other way around, I could spin it around, put the tin on the end, but I think I'll just keep going with what I've got for now. It's starting to look a little bit messy though. 2 and 3 also need to wait. For the moment. Okay, so at this point here, 2 and 3 should be ready to go. Should have the tin ready to go, and then push that forwards once more, popping the tin, and then push it onto here, or even spin it around. So let's just oops. So let's just repeat this process here. Okay, so I do need to push this along again. 1, 2, 3. Number 4 has gone as far as I can go, so number 4 is going to be letting go, drawing back again. Picking up and then pushing out. Let's just see if that is all timed properly. Push that out. What's number 2 doing? 2's going around again. So 1 needs to go and pick that up again. Which means 1 is here, pick up, draw back in, and we should be pretty close to having this complete. This has actually turned out to be much more complicated than I imagined. Now these guys are, oh my goodness, are still there. So what I'm going to do is make sure they don't start that cycle again before this one's finished. So we'll just do that, see how far along I am. Okay, so that's the completed product. I was thinking I could just push it out to here, but it might actually be easier to spin it around. Because this arm is not going to reach that far. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't go out to 4, which means it will have to be this arm here, really, which will probably be like that. Let's just see how we're doing here. Nope. Number 2 and 4. 2 needs to wait. Where did that get stuck? Oh, that's 1 and 2 actually. Okay, so 1 needs to wait for drawing back in. Those get reset at the end. Let's just see how this... No, why is this... 1, 2, and 4. Why is it a different thing every time? Oh, hang on a minute. We need to... 1 needs to draw back first, that's right. And then... see where this collision is happening. When he's getting ready to grab another one, 4 needs to push out there. Okay. So 4 needs to push out here. There we go. 1 grabs that one. Makes the final. It's actually going to be, if I spin that around once, it will be there, I think. Let's just see. I think there's going to be a collision somewhere here, but... Okay, 4 hasn't let go. There we go. 4 needs to return to its starting position as well. Let's just see how this goes. This one oh, you have to drop number 1. Let's get number 1 to drop and drop and return. Okay, so far so good. It turned out to be quite a bit more complicated than I expected, but average number of cycles, average number of area, a little bit more expensive. Yeah, I could probably find a way to do it without using so many pistons actually, but I'm okay with that. Looks okay, seems to work, so let's move on to the next one. Well, Frederick's dates at the observatory ought to go better now. Maybe he and Clara could have a do-over. I don't think it works like that. Do you see any other choices? For Clara Sawyer, I believe House Colvin has a young man around Frederick's age. Maybe that's what Armand is trying to prevent, no? Quite likely. Pity he has only Frederick to work with. One can only play the game with the pieces one has. Indeed.